Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Limitless Voices with Namono, a place for safe conversations, a place where every voice matters. Remember, it's one voice at a time. And today I'm doing this live from Bunyoni Safaris. This is a place I've always loved to visit. I always love to come and see Lake Bunyoni, and hey, here we are today. I'm so honored to be doing it here. So, have you ever been called too empowered, too ambitious, too much? Exactly the three or even more. Please gather here. This information is for you. Me inclusive myself, yes, because I've been in those right places sometimes. And I would like to share something. There is a time I was dating someone, and this person in question told me I was too ambitious. And then another time they said, you're too empowered for life. So they couldn't keep up with me. But you know what? Because I was too empowered, I was too ambitious. And for some time I was like, I think I need to slow down. I think I'm too much and I really need to cut it down. But this created a time for me to reflect and pause. And I was like, but am I doing anything wrong? I wasn't really. And sometimes such people are exactly the people that you don't really need, because at the end of the day, that's how they are going to really see you. Even if you try to please them, they will never see you as the person that they really would like. So it got me to a point of reflection, and I started reflecting. Is this a bad thing? Do I really need to cut it down? Or this is something that I really love doing? And this brings me to the question of, do you know your why? Do you know why you do the different things that you do? Do you know why people say you're too empowered? And when you look on the other side of that coin, are you doing anything that because you're empowered, then you're stepping down on other people? Or is it because you're empowered and you're also trying to empower other people, spread the good vibes everywhere? Exactly that. So for me, if you're really doing the right thing, I think there is no need for you to worry. If you're doing things that tie into your why, I think that is exactly why we are doing some of the things that we are doing, because people will always give us feedback, but it's also upon you to reflect about it and see, does this really speak to me? Is there something that I need to change? Or this person is using judgment of a single-sided story and they don't know the whole story. So it's upon me to decide, is this what I really want to do? And when I went on to that journey, I realized, true, I'm empowered, I know what I want, but it also brought me to the point of having clear core values. In the comment section, remember when I did the first video on self-awareness, you can go and check out that video, because in that video I clearly explain what self-awareness is. And I said self-awareness is knowing, is not just about knowing what you want, which colors you want, but it's also understanding deeper why you want the different things that you really want as an individual. And in there, that's your why. And in there lies your core values. And I remember I'd said I'll be giving you my 5 core values. Thank you, Angela, for reminding me, because I saw in the comments you said you had promised to share your core values, and hey, here we are today. I'm going to keep sharing those 5 core values, and those 5 core values have helped me to deal with those questions of, you're too ambitious, you're too much, you're too empowered, because I ask myself, does this tie into my core values? And then if it does and I'm not doing anything off, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Indeed, I'm too empowered. Like personally, I'm an overachiever. So if someone came and said, hey, Susie, you are an overachiever, I'll be like, yeah, for sure I am. Because after every challenge, I want like, okay, what's the next? And sometimes when I don't have something that I'm looking forward to, it's boring. I want to have something that I'm always working towards. So when you're self-aware, it helps you to cut off that stress that you would have when someone says you're too ambitious, you're too much. Because if you told me I'm too much, indeed I'm too much. If I want to arrange the room, I want every touch of excellency to it. But I want when someone says, they're like, okay, this is Susie who did it. Because that's how I want it. If it's dressing up for a party, I'll dress up to my best. I need to show up. And to that, it may be too much to someone. But to me, that is who I am. But the fact that I know, it doesn't offend me. Actually, I'm like, oh, you've noticed and you really know. So let's go down and let me break down my 5 core values. And the first one is relationships. We cannot live in isolation. We need relationships. And the great thing is God created us in such a way that we desire to have relationships with people. So for me, one of the most important things is my relationship with my God, my relationship with my family, my relationship with my friends, my colleagues at work, because then these make me a better person. When I rely on God as my sole provider, as someone who is going to help me and work with me, it gives me sanity, it gives me peace, because yes, I know he's holding my hand. And I love that verse in Isaiah 43:2 that says he knows me, and even when I go through the fire, he won't let a flame set me to a blaze. He says even when I go through the waters, he will be with me. So hey, I might fear, but then when I remember I have someone who is greater, it gives me strength to keep pushing on. And having people around you who are going to rebuke you, who are going to encourage you and walk the journey with you is beautiful. And I love it when someone notices that I'm swaying away from the right direction and they're like, hey, Susie, what you're doing is not right. For me, that is the greatest form of love. It might not be easy because sometimes we don't like negative feedback, but in that feedback, the bravery that the person took to come and tell you, for me there is growth when you allow yourself to reflect and do better. So I really treasure relationships. They've made me a better person, and I keep working towards building better and stronger connections with people that are going to help me, not for selfish reasons, but because I know I can't live in isolation. I need people around me. We most times encourage people, give them advice, but do you walk that talk as an individual? And that brings me to my second core value, integrity. If no one is watching, do you still do the same thing? Or when no one is watching, you decide to do as you wish because you're like, there is no one watching. But there is personal integrity. You as an individual, are you doing the things that you're doing? And I love a quote by Tom Carell where he says, if you want something, you need to be willing to go first as an individual. Because then when you go first, you're setting an example. You're setting a precedent that, hey, this is what we need to do. And there is so much beauty in walking that talk, because then you build trust. And when you build trust, then you're going to be trusted by the people around you, but they also believe what you say because you're able to walk the talk. And then sometimes we start so well, do something for a day because you're excited. Like let's say when the new year started, we have very good resolutions. I need to go back to school, I need to lose weight, I need to travel. But Are you consistent that you make sure you lay it out and plan and say, this is how I want to achieve this? And then you keep doing it as you have dedicated yourself. And this brings me to the third core value, consistency. Do you do it every other time, or you only do it when you feel it? Remember, I had a video that I did on the motivational triad, and in there I explain how our brains work. So if you've not yet watched it, please go rush and watch it and see how our brains are wired and how they want us to be in our comfort. But consistency is really the answer, because then when we keep doing things consistently every other time, it helps us to build habits. And when we build those habits, mostly the good habits, it's hard to break them. Let's say brushing. It's something we do every day, and it has become part of us. So when you wake up, you're like, I need to brush, because it's a habit you have built. If it's losing weight and you want to go to the gym every Tuesday and Thursday, have you planned? Have you put things in place that will really help you to remain consistent? Do you have people who are accountable, or accountability partners who remind you, hey, you said this? Do you set alarms? What do you do? This is a very key thing, because then it helps us to keep doing it every other day. And then when we keep doing it, we are honing those skills, and also we are becoming better people, because if we want to learn, we actually need to do those things. You're not going to just learn out of the blue. You watch and you're like, hey, I now know how to do it, without actually practicing it. And this brings me to my fourth core value, which is putting in the work, or something that I would say hard work. Sometimes we think success is going to come on a silver platter. We think money is going to fall down like leaves falling down on the ground. We need to put in the work. You need to increase your sitting power. That's why basketballers practice. That's why footballers keep practicing every other day. They are putting in the work. Are you putting in the work in everything that you do? If you're not, it's going to be hard for you to reach where you want to go. So please, in whatever endeavor you would like to grow, if it's public speaking, if it's losing weight, if it's having a clear skin, whichever it is, if you want to travel, if you want to study, put in the work. And when you put in the work, it's a tough, rugged journey, but by the end, when you achieve, you feel satisfied and fulfilled. Why? Because you understand the process that you went through as an individual to be where you are at currently. And then there is this crucial last core value, authenticity. Do you remain true to yourself? There is a lot of mimicry. We copy, which is good to copy. Yes, good things. But every time you do, make sure you're adding your unique touch. Because then if you don't, you're going to be doing things like everyone else. But there is that unique thing about you as an individual. Are you carrying it with you? We have different passions, and when you're doing that passion, one makes you stand out from the different person, from another person who is doing the same thing. And this is very crucial, because then when we do, it makes us unique. It makes us stand out from the rest of the crowd, and people easily, it's easy for people to notice and say, hey, this is Susan, because this is how she does her thing. So are you allowing yourself to be your authentic self, without just allowing to be carried away by the wave? Everything that comes, you're like, hey, I'll jump onto it. But does it define you? Is it who you are? And if it's not, then it's good for you to say, yes, it's very good, but that does not define me, and I'm not really going to do it. And when you have your core values very clear, it will be easy that even when someone comes and says, you're too much, you're like, yeah, I am, but help me understand in which area. And then maybe when you understand that maybe you're straying away from this, it's easy for you to come back and say, so how do I get back to this? And strategize back again. So the next time you're called too ambitious, too empowered, I hope you remember to pause back, reflect, and find if there is something you need to change, or you need to just continue being who you are, because you are enough and you are perfect the way you are. So I hope this has really spoken to you, and if it has, please share the link with your friends who are in a similar situation, and let's keep learning together. But also, if this really was good information and you'd like not to miss out, scroll down, see the subscribe button, please hit that notification bell, and let's keep growing. And please let us know in the comment section, is this something you struggle with? But how have you also been able to overcome this? Let's keep learning together as we share our knowledge with one another. It's your lovely host once again,